So, you have your footage, a nice little video about you talking about the school news. When you look at it again, you realize it's kind of boring. How can I edit this to make it more interesting without adding or removing footage? First, we're going to use this example of me reciting news from my school. Then, we're going to see how I edited it to make it more interesting.
Hi, this is Tristan Douglas.
And Jaden Cruz. We bring you Nighthawk News.
Today is Friday, December 9th, also known as Twin Day.
The weather today is -2 degrees, cloudy with winds reaching 19 kilometers an hour.
Last week in sports, we had games from girls volleyball and boys basketball.
Last Thursday, junior girls volleyball played Bear Creek in a tough battle, losing all 3 sets.
The senior girls also played Bear Creek on Thursday, and they fought hard, but unfortunately they also lost all 3 sets.
I don't know about you, but I'm bored already. Enough of that. Now, let's see if we can edit a few things just to make this a little bit more interesting. Here I am in UCut, which is the video editor app I use. I think it's available on Android and iOS. Other options are like CapCut, which are very similar. First, I'm going to cut out all these fade to blacks, because that's just unnecessary. Basically what happened is every time we were finished recording like 4 lines, we'd stop the camera so we could look at our scripts again, and the editor just kind of like put them together this way by having a fade to black in between them, which is unnecessary. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna find the spot where my friend here stops talking, and as soon as he stops talking, we're gonna cut. If you've never used UCut before, split by pushing this split button. So I'll split it. And then as soon as I start talking again, where my mouth opens right here, I'm just gonna use this trimmer arrow and I'm just gonna trim it down. And then basically when you watch it over again,
19 kilometers an hour.
Last week in
the fade to black is gone. Then I'm gonna add more camera angles. So I'm gonna crop some of the parts, and I'm gonna add some more camera movement, like panning and zooming, and I'll show you how to do all that right now. Well, now we got rid of this fade to black here, but it appears that we've slightly moved, and now you can tell that it was cut. We call these jump cuts in the film industry, and they're usually frowned upon when you're making like actual movies, but YouTube videos, they just have them all the time, so that you can consume content as quickly as possible. Basically, a jump cut is when there's a cut between 2 clips here, and the camera doesn't move, but the subjects do. And you can see that there's a big jump, hence the name, between each clip. If you want to make this look more professional, one way you can hide a jump cut is by, right where the split here is, you can change the camera angle. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this crop button right here. So if I push that, it'll open up this menu. It'll probably leave you on free, but try to switch to 16:9 or whichever dimensions you had for the original video so that you're not constantly changing dimensions. We'll leave it on 16:9, and then we just grab a corner and we just drag, and we'll have it focus on me. Once you're satisfied, you can watch it while you're editing.
Last week in sports,
You can push check mark, and then the jump cut is hidden. Watch.
19 kilometers an hour.
Last week in sports,
It's still a cut between 2 things, but everyone will think that it's on purpose because we wanted to switch the camera angle for that part. So that's a good way to hide your jump cuts. Don't have it fade to black every time you're cutting. It's a really good idea too to change the camera angle more often than just cutting between clips. If ever you think it would be interesting, if you change the camera angle, you just push the split button like I already showed you, and then you just crop it as necessary. It makes it way more interesting than if you have a lot of cuts between different camera angles. Instead of just doing a quick cut, you can also make your camera move without actually making it move. And you're able to do this by using keyframes. So I'm just going to show you how to use keyframes so that you can pretend that your camera is moving, even if it's just staying still the whole time. So basically, you're going to tap the video that you want to keyframe. Here's the keyframe button. I'm going to add one here. So now you'll see that there's a little, it's hard to see because the arrow's right there, but there's a little diamond shape right here, and that's where the keyframe is. Now, if you play it for a little bit, and you want the camera to zoom in at that part, then you put another keyframe there. Now that you have 2 keyframes, you can make the camera move. So go to the second one, and I just want you to use your 2 fingers and just zoom in. I don't want you to use the crop button, just the zoom in. Once you're zoomed in on what you want the camera to end up as, this will be your end position, and this will be your start position. So let's watch it. You just made the camera zoom in, even if it was just staying still. So if ever you need to, like if I want, I can add another keyframe there, and then put another one there. As long as you have 2 keyframes, you can make the camera move. So it'll look like this. Let's say right here, I want it to zoom out. I would zoom out, make sure it's straight. There we go. And now we got it to zoom back out. Now, instead of only doing just cuts, we can have the camera move around as we talk. Now that I've done my jump cuts and my camera angles and my camera movements and put it all together, let's watch these side by side.
Hi, this is Tristan Douglas.
And Jaden Cruz. We bring you Nighthawk News.
Today is Friday, December 9th, also known as Twin Day.
The weather today is -2 degrees, cloudy with winds reaching 19 kilometers an hour.
Last week in sports, we had games from girls volleyball and boys basketball.
Last Thursday, junior girls volleyball played Bear Creek in a tough battle, losing all 3 sets.
The senior girls also played Bear Creek on Thursday, and they fought hard, but unfortunately they also lost all 3 sets.
On Friday, the junior and senior boys basketball team played Barry North.
The junior team fought hard, unfortunately losing with a score of 49-46 for Barry North.
The senior boys volleyball fought hard and came out with a victory of 55-52 for Barry North.
This week, we have action from girls volleyball, boys hockey, boys basketball, and girls hockey.
Tuesday night, the junior and senior girls volleyball team traveled to Innisdale for their games.
The junior girls gave up a hard-fought fight with a loss of 3-1.
The senior girls volleyball team gave up an unfortunate loss of 3-0.
The varsity boys hockey team traveled to the Peggy Hill community so that they could play Bear Creek, but lost.
Over your weekend, if you want to check out the top 10 Netflix TV shows from November 28th to December 4th, they are...
Number 1, Wednesday.
Number 2, 1899.
Number 3, Firefly Lane.
Number 4, The Crown.
Number 5, Crime Scene, Texas Killing Fields.
6, Dead to Me, Season 3.
Number 7, Manifest Season 3.
Number 8, Blood and Water.
Number 9, Manifest Season 1.
And number 10, Little Angel.
See? Still boring, but less so. So that's all for this video. I hope you learned something, and goodbye.